Hi everyone, welcome to the Craft House Design Studio. Today we are designing the Diabetes Awareness t-shirt for 2024. Diabetes, or diabetes mellitus, has been around for basically ever. Diabetes was recognized by all sorts of ancient civilizations, including the Greeks, the Chinese, Indians, and Persians. Obviously, we didn't have any sort of blood test back then, and so the condition was recognized by the sweet taste of the urine. Yummy. The primary method of treatment at this time was exercise, which is still one of the methods that we use to manage diabetes today, but it is not the main method that we use like it was back then. Sorry. Diabetes was first used to describe the condition in 2050 BCE by Apollonius of Memphis. This is the Greek Memphis, not the Tennessee Memphis. Mellitus, however, wasn't added to the name until 1675 by Thomas Willis. Both words are Greek in origin. Diabetes means to siphon, and mellitus means honeyed or sweet. So literally translated, diabetes mellitus means siphoned honey. Although appropriately named, it wasn't until 1776 that Matthew Dobson confirmed that the excess sugar in the urine was the cause of its sweet taste. The next breakthrough for diabetes came over 100 years later, in 1889, when Joseph von Mering discovered that the pancreas played a role in the development of diabetes. He was able to determine that a malfunctioning pancreas, or no pancreas, resulted in diabetes. From there, advancements in research happened fairly quickly. The true cause of diabetes was discovered in 1910 by Sir Edward Albert Sharpe Schaefer, when he found the chemical that we now know as insulin, and the insulin-producing islets of Langerhans in the pancreas. And then 9 years later, Dr. Frederick Allen was the first to try and control diabetes through diet. He prescribed what he called the starvation diet, and quite frankly, it was appropriately named because it's exactly what it sounds like. He attempted to control diabetes by severely restricting the amount of food that somebody was eating, to the point that they were basically just eating what they needed to stay alive, and no more, no less. We still use diet to manage diabetes, but in a very different way. Obviously gave us the truly effective treatment for diabetes, because we were able to control it fairly effectively. All three of these men were honored with a Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 1923, but Banting, as the lead researcher for this and other projects related to studying metabolic syndromes like diabetes, was also honored with World Diabetes Day, which is held on his birthday, November 14th, and the reason Diabetes Awareness Month is November. The two types of diabetes were first recognized in 1936 by Sir Harold Percival Hemsworth, when he noticed that some people responded better to insulin than others. The first type, which is the less common type and is most often seen in children, is when the immune system attacks and destroys the cells that produce insulin, which means that the first type is an autoimmune condition and for which there is no cure. Type 2 is most commonly seen in adults over 40 and is when the pancreas produces less insulin than it used to and the body becomes resistant. Type 2 is preventable, and it's mostly preventable by maintaining a healthy lifestyle and a healthy weight. Remission is also possible with type 2, which is not possible with type 1. And although the body reacts differently to insulin, the standard for treatment is pretty much the same. Both types are treated with diet, exercise, insulin, and blood sugar checks. Now, type 1 focuses mostly on the insulin because their body doesn't produce insulin, whereas type 2 focuses mostly on diet and exercise because remember that is what a lack of healthy lifestyle is what causes type 2. And so the focus is a little bit different, but the treatment still is the same. And likewise, the symptoms are also the same, with a little bit of a difference. The symptoms for both of them are blurry vision, extreme thirst, frequent urination, weight loss, and frequent yeast infections. The main difference between symptoms is the onset. Type 1 has a very sudden onset, good one day, not good the next, whereas type 2 has a slow onset over a period of maybe months or years. If you and I will pause here and say, if you or a loved one are experiencing any of these symptoms, please talk to your doctor. Please don't diagnose yourself from videos or internet, because there are other things that could also be going on that are not diabetes. Now, this design that we've got here is already available on our website. It launched yesterday, November 1st, 2024, and will be available until October 31st, 2025. 12% of the profit from each sale will be donated to the American Diabetes Association for research and to support those living with diabetes. Why 12%? Because I know that question's coming. Why 12%? Because 12% of Americans live with diabetes. And so we donate 12% for that 12%. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to follow for more content like this.